Good morning. What a beautiful spring morning it is here in the Puget Sound area. And today the Disruptors are going to be doing a community show. We're going to bring you an actual interview that we recorded at McCabe's Automotive-Repair in University Place. Now this is kind of exciting because at McCabe's, they were celebrating at this time 46 years. That's right, 46 years of servicing automobiles for their customers in the Puget Sound area. And it was kind of a special show for us, even though Candace was late as always and had an excuse for being late, which, we all accept. But here's the great point of this whole show. We had an opportunity to sit out in the garage area and actually talk with Rick McCabe, founder of McCabe's, and his daughter, Ashley, who will be taking over the business very shortly. She'll be the second generation right there at McCabe's Automotive Repair. It was kind of exciting for us. So you'll have to excuse there's some background noises and a little bit of echoing because we were out in the service area. But I think you'll enjoy the show. It was really a pleasure for us to be there at a part in the history of McCabe's Automotive Repair. Here we are at McCabe's Auto Specialist Repair, and we have Rick and his lovely daughter Ashley with us, and we're going to talk about a little bit about the history of McCabe's. Can you fill us in, Rick, on how the company started?
Okay, well, it started a few years ago, Bill.
Just a few years ago.
Just a few years ago.
Good.
My mom and dad had a family grocery store, and I was one of those childs that you did not leave at home alone. So I spent a lot of time with my dad at the grocery store.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And he taught me about business. It's all about customer service. This is, people can go anywhere and buy a loaf of bread or buy a gallon of gas or get their car fixed. It's the service. It's your personal attention to them. That's how you do business.
So basically, then we made the foundation right off the beginning that customer service was going to be number one priority wherever or whatever business that you went into.
Correct.
So when did you start the garage industry, I guess you'd call it?
Well, when I was 14, there was a service station across the street from my mom and dad's store, and I was out there one afternoon bouncing a basketball against the side of the building, and the owner of the service station came over and asked me if I wanted a job, and I went, yes, I want a job. He says, you don't even know what you're going to be doing. I says, I know what I won't be doing. So I started there. I worked there on weekends, washing cars, and he was just like my dad. It was all about customer service. He says, let me show you how to wash a car. No, Dick, I know how to. No, I'm going to show you how to wash a car. I'm going to show you how to do this. And then after a while, he started showing me how to repair cars and work on them. And then when I turned 16 and I got my license, he threw me the keys and he says, you will now open up and close on Sundays.
Oh-ho.
So at 16, I opened up his service station, ran it all day Sunday, and then closed it on Sunday night, and then worked during the evenings and mostly Saturdays. And then when I was 19, it was an ENCO station that I was working at, asked the rep if I could have a station. He said, well, you got to be 21 years old.
Oh.
I said, wow. I said, well, maybe my dad will sign for me. He said, okay. So I asked my dad and mom, and they said, yeah, we'll sign for you. I said, well, I don't have any money. And he said, well, we'll give you some money because we didn't send you to college. So they gave me $2,000. And that was what I had.
To start this.
To start, and I got a service station, which was on 52nd and Tacoma Avenue, which is no longer there. It was an old signal station with one door that accordion opened like this. With two pumps, and if you tripped, you were in the middle of South Tacoma Way.
I see.
Yeah.
Lovely parking lot, a lot of spacious room.
Yeah. And that was April 19th, 1972. And then in November, ENCO, it was still ENCO, my rep asked me if I wanted a new state-of-the-art station at 44th and Bridgeport.
Wow.
And I went, yes.
And so you ended up moving back to this location then a few years later? Is that how?
Well, and then after about 6 years with the oil company, I figured out that the oil companies were only interested in one thing.
Money.
money. They didn't care about, we were called dealers, and they certainly didn't care about the customer. And so in November of 1978, I opened up this, and then in 79, I sold my station, and
wow,
here we are.
So after 46 years, today is the 46th year anniversary. What changes have you seen in the repair industry and service industry since you've started?
Oh, wow. Well, in the early 70s, I specialized in Volkswagens, air-cooled Volkswagens. Uh-huh. And that's how I met, another story of how I met a really good friend. He came in right after I opened the station up there in November and said, I got a problem with my Volkswagen. He had a brand new 71 Volkswagen Super Beetle he bought brand new, and it was 72, so it's about a year old. He said, I've had this problem ever since it was new. After I drive it, it gets hot, it quits. Nobody can fix it. Well, being a young 20-year-old kid, I can do anything.
Take the challenge.
That's right. So I said, I can fix it. And with luck, I did fix it, and very cheaply. And him and his family became great friends. He was a retired colonel in the Air Force, the neatest man. He brought me lunch almost every day until he passed away.
Isn't that something? So you ate well too while
I did, yeah.
You started there.
and then his wife called me after he passed and told me to come pick up. He called it Old Yellow because his Volkswagen was yellow, and said, come get Old Yellow. And I said, okay, Barb, I'll sell it for you. She says, no, I'm giving it to you.
Wow.
Jack would want you to have it. So I still have it.
You still have it?
I still have it.
I'll be darned. Isn't that something? In all those years.
Yeah. So the industry, I was used to carburetors, a little bit of fuel injection on the Volkswagens.
Those strange things called points in the distributor. And
yes. Yeah, trigger points down below, on the Type 3s. And so in 82, when Ford came out with the computers, and we started seeing some of those, it was a nightmare. So I told my guys, look, I'm going to send you guys to school. I'm going to buy the equipment for you guys to fix these cars. I'm going to go up front and take care of the customer like they should. That's what I'm going to do. And so
it's worked out ever since.
It's worked out ever since.
Well, that's wonderful. Ashley, how did you get interested in following in your dad's footsteps?
That's an interesting question. I had no intention of following in my dad's footsteps, but as being a business owner, Dad would come home and we'd talk. I started working at a coffee stand when I was 16 years old, and growing up with a man that said customer service is everything, that's what he instilled in me when I went to work. He said, got to take care of your customers, they'll take care of you. You give them the 100% every day, all the time. So I'd come home and talk about my day, and that happened for years and years, and I tried corporate jobs and it just never worked out. The corporates were never customer focused. I wanted to do something for the customer, but I couldn't, because that's not what the company was about.
They didn't want that.
They did not want that. I wanted to help the customer, to do what was best for the customer, and that in the corporate world was not okay. So 3 years ago, I was going through what do I want to do? I want to do my own business. I really wanted my own coffee stand. I just wanted to serve people. I didn't care what I was serving. Coffee doesn't matter. I wanted to open up my own business. Well, at that time, my dad had been approached if somebody was interested to purchase McCabe's Automotive. And my dad was not ready to sell, but was thinking about possibly retiring in the future. And he asked me if that would be something that I would be interested in. At 22, knew nothing about cars. My first reaction was, Dad, I don't know how to fix a car. I don't know nothing about cars. And he told me, doesn't matter about the cars. You have employees for that. You have great technicians. You have training for that. All that matters is you need to take care of those customers. That you need to make sure they're being taken care of, that they're being looked out for. And that's what I love to do. So I thought about it for about 6 months. I gave it some real thought. Is to own a company like this in an industry that I knew nothing about. And then December 3 years ago, I decided that I would like to try. It was something that I wanted to try, and Dad was always very forthcoming and said, if this isn't something that you love, you need to wake up every day and love it. And if you don't, that's okay. I don't have to love it. It was my dad's passion. It didn't necessarily have to be my passion. But, 3 years in and necessarily haven't learned a whole much about cars. Well, I've learned a little, but I have amazing technicians and a great relationship with my father, and I love the customers. I love to build the relationships with the customers and to keep them coming back and making sure that my techs and my service advisors, I've got a great group of guys in the back that make sure that they put the customers' needs and their families' needs and safety ahead of everything else. And that's what wakes me up in the morning. It doesn't matter if I'm serving a cup of coffee out the window or sending a happy customer out the door in their safe car.
Isn't that amazing? My kids are a little bit different than that, but that's amazing. That's really amazing. So what do you see, Ashley, in the future for McCabe Automobile Repair?
I see this location. I don't want to open up another one. I love this. This is the roots. This is the foundation of the company, and so I don't want to venture. I want to make this one, as successful as it could be. I want to grow. I want to take care of those customers. I want to dig the roots in deep. I see another 46 years. I'm not ready to have kids yet, but if that time does come, I would hope that they would want to continue to be the third generation here. I plan on changing with the way things are going. We don't do a lot of diesel repair, and I would love to optimize that opportunity and see diesel and start working on stuff. The future is going electric, so whatever it takes, we will keep up. We're not going out of style anytime soon.
So I noticed in your website and in some of the material that came out, what a wonderful bunch of reports and reviews that you got back on the service here at McCabe's. People were really very, very nice, and it's interesting to see it a 4.98 rating. That's pretty good for an outfit that's been around for 46 years. That's wonderful. What do you see down the road as far as the future? We've looked at expansion and making this grow, but this is a real family business. Do you see it staying another generation and continuing on with the legacy here?
I can't foresee the future. I don't have any kids, so I'm only 25, but that would be awesome. That would be so great. That would be the decision that, if I decide to have children, that they decide to do. But I plan on being here until I decide to retire, and then we'll go from there. I would like to see it go another, 90 years. That would be great. But we'll see. That would be awesome. I definitely would love that. But
okay.
For now, I'm going to put in my 46.
You're going to put in your 46. Good enough. So right now you're just doing automobile repair. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Okay, and all different types of automobiles. They can bring them to McCabe for the maintenance. And what I really liked, I was talking to your brake technician in the back room, who's probably run off by now, but thinking, oh my goodness, don't send him back. But I liked his attitude because he was looking and measuring and making sure that everything in the brake system was correct, so that when that car was dropped back down into the ground, it was a safe vehicle to operate. I noticed that you guys take a lot of care in the customer as far as making sure that they understand what the problems are, where they are at the moment, of course, and what needs to be adjusted or taken care of in the future to keep their car going. Mm-hmm. And I think at McCabe's has really done an extremely good job throughout the years. I know my mother was a customer here many, many years ago, and she always used to tell me, if your car breaks down, stay out from under the hood, take it to McCabe, take it to McCabe. And I would hear that about 40 times, as I'm figuring out what was so great. And then as she explained to me that she never had any problems. She'd bring it down, and you people were very fair, honest, outlined the problems to her so she could understand it, and made my stepfather's life miserable, you see, at the same time. Well, it's really been great. We appreciate you taking the time to talk with us, Ashley and Rick. And we will have this on the air for you. I can't wait for our fans to hear about McCabe's automobile service and the specialty that they can do. I don't think there's a garage in Pierce County, Ashley, that has such a sweet, personable person to handle the customer service like yourself.
Well, thank you.
And I tend to agree with that.
You bet.
A lot better looking than her father.
Well, thank you so much. This is Bill. We are at McCabe's garage right now taking this interview. You probably heard some of the noises of the compressors and stuff going on as we were interviewing. So come on down. If you get an opportunity, come on down and see. Have your car checked out. You never know what can be under that hood. Until we see you again, this is Bill. And remember, keep on smiling.